Alright, now we're in the finals. Looks like we won the die roll, so we're on the play. It's a good hand, we need more black than white, but other than that, 2-drop, 3-drop. We have an on-earth to bring some stuff back or to cycle it if we need more action. So looks good to me. Opponent goes ahead and plays a Traveler's Amulet. So here between the Seeker and the Aristocrat, I think we want to go with the Seeker because the Aristocrat can be more valuable later on. We don't have so many prowess triggers. I mean, we have a couple, but I mean at instant speed we don't have so many. So that's fine to just attack, get in some damage or trade off versus another 2/2 creature. So our opponent plays a bounce land, grabs the forest back, and he's not sacking the amulet with the mana because then the land goes into the hand, right? Then he would have to discard, so he just passes the turn. We play the Bugler, hit Pontiff. Yeah, looks like now in the final version we have the Vampiric Rites in and the Battlefield promotion is out for sure. So pretty nice that we hit the Pontiff. It's a little bit less good if the opponent knows about it, but it doesn't matter too much because with the ability to sack it, to haunt the creature and sack the creature with the Aristocrat and bring it back with Unearth, we can do all kinds of stuff with the Horse of Pontiff. So we swing in with the Seeker. Our opponent on 3 mana plays a Coiling Oracle, sacks the Amulet, and he gets Sky Knight with his Coiling Oracle, but of course he knows about our Pontiff. So we don't need too much more lands, but a black source is quite nice because it lets us double spell. I don't want to go ahead and play the Pontiff just to remove the Calling Oracle. The Oracle is not a problem at all for me. He has a 3/1 flyer in hand still, and also in general the Pontiff gets the nastier the bigger the board state is, especially if you can go trigger it, double the effect with Unearth or Aristocrat or whatever. So we happy to wait on that and play our other 2 creatures. I mean, we lead with the Squire, but doesn't matter. So pretty solid curve out, but our opponent has a Hostage Taker. It's such a good card, but luckily we haven't F6'd, and I mean we have our Cartel Aristocrat to sack any creature he chooses. I think he should choose the Cartel Aristocrat because we can only sack another creature and that he gets to play it, but it seems like he doesn't like the Seeker for its pump ability. Little does he know we don't have too much ways to get the prowess trigger, but you should just take the Aristocrat. Pretty sure. So because he didn't, we can go ahead and sack it, so he doesn't get to play the Seeker next turn. So more lands, not necessarily what we want. Now I know he still has the flyer, but I only basically have lands in my hand. Other than that, I wanna keep the pressure high, so I go ahead and play the Pontiff. I'm pumping my team just to get in a lot of damage, and yeah, that's why I choose the +1/+1 option and not -1/-1. Because now we can swing in with the whole team. Probably the best block for him is double blocking my 2/3. But keep in mind, it's basically just a 1/2, so we're not sad at all about this trade. It's not like that we're down trading a lot. And this way we get in 6 points of damage, which is quite a lot, puts him down to 8. The switching back and forth, I was going through in my head if I should just make 2 damage to the hostage taker, and then if I can get the trigger again from here, wipe both his creatures, but it doesn't make any sense because I cannot just sack the Pontiff. I have to sack it first to give another creature a haunt and sack it again, and that of course it's not worth it at all. So we trade the Oracle versus the Squire. And since my opponent is already down to 8 life and he has 6 cards in hand, I think I just want to keep the pressure as high as possible. And I play the Unearth to get another body on the field, to get another Surveil, I guess. But it's not a non-land card, so we just draw the land, and therefore hopefully next turn draw more action. Whoops. So my opponent, he plays the Pride Mage and the Agony Warp on our Bugler and passes the turn. And we get another Cartel Aristocrat. Which we play out right away. We cannot swing in. I don't want to do some kind of sacking, because if I would sack the 1/2, if both of these creatures share a color, I might sack the Pontiff to get the Aristocrat, the protection of the color these creatures share, to get in 2 points of damage, to get 1 creature of mine which I can sack at any point to haunt. And then he's already down to 6, and we have 1 creature ready to sack to pump my team or to shrink his team. That would be a consideration, but since these are 4 completely different colors, I cannot go for this line. So 6 mana for our opponent. It's time to close out the game on our side. Otherwise it's getting harder and harder because our opponents still have 4 cards in hand and we only have lands in hand. So our opponent passes. We get this figure. We go ahead and remove the Pride Mage, and now because both these creatures are blue, I actually try to push in some damage. And the way I do it is I sack the Pontiff first, give the creature protection from blue, haunt my own creature, sack it again, give the other creature protection from blue, and pump my team to get in 6 points of damage. And then I swing in with double protection from blue, getting him down to 2, and I have 2 of the Vampire Sovereign, which drains him for 3, and I think that's the best way, because now when it starts flickering creature with the hostage taker, it's getting ugly, and therefore I just need to push damage that I can close it out with Lucky Top Deck. So our opponent goes ahead, plays a Bloodbraid Elf, hits an Agony Warp, which we then sack our Cartel Aristocrat in response. I mean, doesn't matter too much unless he wants to flicker it now, but we still sack it. I mean, he cannot really exile a creature from or exile his hostage taker and take a creature from me, because when I then top deck a creature, I can just sack it and get in for the 2 points of damage. It's not working. Yeah, this replayer, was a bad idea, I guess, but I still try to finish it. Not sure why it's not going anymore, what I can do.